Hey hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Rise video. Today's video is for my friends on console that have just picked up base Rise and are looking for things to do before Sunbreak drops. I'm going to use this video to cover some weapons from each of the 14 weapon classes that I think you should have made before Sunbreak releases, since they will have master rank upgrades that are meta or at least very close to meta. Now I will give a slight spoiler warning here that if you do care about spoilers, I will be talking about master rank upgrades and the monsters they come from, so, do what you will with that. I will also warn you that a lot of these weapons can just be crafted straight up with master rank materials and don't always have to be upgraded. Now some of these of course will need to be crafted in low rank or high rank, but not all of them. However, this will still give you something to grind for, so if that's what you're looking for, then you've come to the right place. Now these will mostly be set up for weapons that are just objectively good or meta, but I do want to mention that some of these will just be my own personal opinion based on my own playstyle for certain weapons, and I will try to allude to that so I'm not just sounding like I'm giving you factual evidence, and so you may want to take some of those with a grain of salt. Now with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. Of course, we're going to be starting off with the Greatsword, and we're looking mainly at crafting the Magnamalo Greatsword, as the Scorn Magnamalo weapons are insanely good for Raw and Sunbreak. You'll definitely start to see a theme emerge as we go through more Raw-based weapons. You may also potentially look into crafting and upgrading the Rathian Greatsword, as it does branch off into Flaming Espinas later on, but you can just craft the Flaming Espinas Greatsword outright, so you really don't have to, but if you need more stuff to grind, the option is there. Up next is Longsword. The main one that you'll want to upgrade is the Rathian Longsword, as that will move along the tree really nicely into the Gold Rathian Longsword in Master Rank, which is the best raw longsword at this point in Sunbreak. Though Magnamalo will also be a good shout, Gold Rathian is definitely outright best here, as there's a lot of new skills that come in Sunbreak that really boost status weapons, and poison buildup is just much better than the other types of status. You could also consider the Nargacuga Longsword, as it upgrades into the Lucent Nargacuga Longsword, which is pretty good. However, it does fall just a bit behind Gold Rathian, so keep that in mind. Then moving on to Sword and Shield, the Magnamalo Sword and Shield is again a good option that you'll want to have ready for upgrade. But again, I think Rathian and Gold Rathian will be really strong contenders, so you may want to have one or two Rathian Sword and Shields upgraded. Although you can outright craft master rank Rathian stuff, it may be easier to just upgrade it, and of course, like I said, it'll give you something to farm until Sunbreak drops on PlayStation and Xbox. Now we're going to get into our first elemental dependent weapon, which is of course Dual Blades. Now starting off, you'll want to have Almudron upgraded. Again, this is another one that you can craft the master rank version outright, but if you want something to work on now, I'd actually upgrade the Almudron Dual Blades twice, as Almudron and Magma Almudron are top tier for water and fire dual blades. The Rathalos dual blades are also a good shout for fire as well, they're pretty much even with Magmadron. You'll then want to go for Narwa and or Zinogre for thunder dual blades. Now, Aurora Somnicanth is pretty much the best for ice, so you'll want to upgrade your Somnicanth dual blades to their highest high rank upgrade. Finally, as far as I'm concerned, if you need Dragon for any weapon type, just go straight for Valstrax. Be sure to have his dual blades crafted and upgraded as well. As a little bonus, there's some insane status-based skills in Sunbreak that I alluded to earlier, and so I think that having the Feline and or Jelly dual blades for Paralysis made and upgraded will net you some really fun sets in Sunbreak. For Lance, again, if you're going to go raw, I think Magnamalo is a really good shout. Like I said, get used to hearing that. Magnamalo is just really solid in Sunbreak. For Elemental Lance playstyle, I think the Zamite Tree Lance for ice is really good, having Royal Ludroth ready for water, then Zinogre or Narwa for thunder will be good to have upgraded and ready. Now for fire, in Sunbreak, I mostly rock with Flaming Espinas, which again you can just craft outright, so not too much to worry about there. Now I will say, when I'm mentioning all the Flaming Espinas weapons here, they're not always the best for element, but the Flaming Espinas weapons have really good raw, great sharpness, they have innate hidden poison skill, and they have insane slots, so I really like to run them regardless. Now for Gunlance, there's only one option that I like, and that's the Pyre Rakna-Kadaki Gunlance. I love full burst normal shelling playstyle, and I will admit that I am not educated enough on wide and long shelling types to give you an honest good choice on what to upgrade for those. So my recommendation is of course to upgrade the Rakna-Kadaki Gunlance to get ready for Sunbreak. Moving quickly on to hammer, surprise surprise, make an upgrade Magnum Aloe. I personally don't like to elementally match up with hammer. I know you certainly can, but I tend to go straight for raw, and the Scorn Magna weapons are just the best for that in my opinion. Following up hammer, we get straight into hunting horn. Now there are really a ton of great options, and I know there's a ton of different playstyles whether you like to attack or support horn. It's really going to vary for you. There's so many songs to choose from, you'll just have an overwhelming amount to go for in Sunbreak. But here are some of my favorites that I think you'll want to have upgraded and ready before Sunbreak. I really like Chameleos, having Narwa upgraded, Valstrax, Puke Puke, Magnum Aloe, and the Chaos Tree Hunting Horn. Again, poison is really strong, so poison hunting horns with songs that you like will always work nicely in Sunbreak, but I hope this gives you some good farming choices to work on before Sunbreak drops. Up next is Switch Axe, and you have to go for element here. Switch Axe is so busted in Sunbreak, so here are the best per element that you should upgrade and have ready prior to release. Starting with Ice, Kushala or Lagombi are going to be your best depending on playstyle. Then Dragon, I think you can go with either the Death Stench Tree or Valstrax. I personally prefer the Death Stench Tree. Then for Thunder, you're going to want to have the Narwa Switch Axe upgraded. Then, again, just like with Dual Blades, I think both Almudron and Magma Almudron are going to be your best for water and fire, so you'll want to consider having 2 of the Almudron Switch Axes ready for Sunbreak, but again, you can just craft these, so trying to get that plate or whatever may not be your favorite thing, so I'll leave that up to you. Now for Charge Blade, element is also king. Impact is completely dead in Sunbreak, a complete flip-flop from base rise to Sunbreak, and here are your best Charge Blades per element to have ready and upgraded before you get into Sunbreak. For Dragon, of course, it's Valstrax. For Ice, you'll want to upgrade your Somnicanth upgraded so that way you can move into the Aurora Somnicanth tree later on. For Water, you want to have the Vake tree upgraded, which is the Fish Charge Blade. For Thunder, again, you'll want Narwa, and for Fire, you'll want to have Ragna Kadaki's Charge Blade upgraded to the max that you can get it to in high rank. Moving on to Insect Glaive, I would recommend some raw glaives, which are Magnum Aloe, Chameleos, and actually having the Magia tree ready, I don't think is a bad idea either, as it ends up with a really high Kinsect level, good blast, and decent raw. Again, this weapon's not really my strongest suit, so take these with a bit of a grain of salt. If you want to go for some elemental matching, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of YouTube resources for you to find out what's best. Now we get into the craziest ones, which are bowguns. We're going to start off with Light Bowgun, of course. You'll want the Rathian Light Bowgun upgraded to the max, as the Gold Rathian Light Bowgun is arguably the best Spread 3 Light Bowgun in Sunbreak. Nargacuga is also still pretty decent for Rapid Fire Pierce 2, but it does get beaten out by the Malzeno Light Bowgun in Sunbreak, so if you want to get that maxed out and ready, you can do that too. Then for Element, you'll want to have Rathlos upgraded for Fire, Kushala upgraded for Ice, Kezu upgraded for Thunder, and Almudron upgraded for Water. Now the other top tier elemental guns, especially the rapid fire elemental bowguns, are basically outright craftable in Sunbreak, so there's really no way to work towards them now on the upgrade paths. Now that we've finished with light bowgun, let's get into heavy bowgun, which also has a ton of options. We're going to start off with Pierce 3 heavy bowgun. You'll want to have Magnum Aloe's heavy bowgun upgraded as, again, hey, guess what? Scorned Magnum Aloe's really good in Sunbreak. For Spread 3, you'll actually want Tetranodon. But you can also upgrade the Renaplos tree, as that will craft into the Garangolum tree later, which actually has higher raw than Tetranodon, but it can only get fast reload instead of fastest in Sunbreak. For Elemental, you'll want to craft the Bishatin heavy bowgun, which will upgrade into the Orange Bishatin tree later on for fire ammo. You'll then want to, of course, upgrade Narwa for Thunder. And then I would say that Kushala is not the best ice heavy bowgun, but it is a close second and has really good support ammos, so you may want to consider having that maxed out before getting into Sunbreak as well. Now the water option is Daimyo Hermitor, so you'll be able to outright craft that in Sunbreak, so really nothing to worry about with water in high rank. Last up is bow. Again, we're loving element here, and I personally prefer spread type shots, so that's what I'll be sharing with you guys here. If you want some more ideas on what's best for rapid and pierce, go check out Titus69. He's our resident bow expert here in Monster Hunter. He'll have all the details that you need. Now for fire spread, you'll actually want to have your Rathian bow upgraded to the max, as Rathian bow is the best fire bow for spread. For dragon, of course, you know it's Valstrax. Thunder is actually Kezu this time, not Narwa. And water, again, is Daimyo, so no worries about a high rank upgrade there. Ice is also Velkhana, so no high rank upgrades to work on for that one either. Now guys, if you did make it this far in the video, comment down below and tell me what your favorite weapon is in Base Rise so far. I played a ton of Longsword in Base Rise. I rocked with Tigrex and Chameleos 99% of my endgame grind, so I'm really curious to hear what you guys have been using for your grind on the console Rise experience. Guys, if you did find this list helpful, be sure to hit that like button to support the video totally for free. If you're new here, new to Monster Hunter, or if you find yourself returning my videos on the regular, I do ask that you consider subscribing for more Monster Hunter content just like this. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.